Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be the third video in my series that aims to debunk a lot of the FUD I see surrounding Cardano. In these videos, I pick 5 FUD claims about Cardano and show you why they don't hold any merit. You don't have to watch these videos in order though, so feel free to keep watching and you can check out the other videos later if you wish. The exact FUD I'll be debunking today was chosen and voted on by fellow Cardano community members over on the official Cardano forum, so a thank you to all who voted. With that said, let's get started. FUD claim number 1. Cardano is only funded until 2020. So, for those that don't already know, Cardano is a project that IOHK was commissioned to develop by a company named Emergo in the year 2015. The terms of their agreement say that IOHK needs to finish Cardano by the year 2020. Now, like most projects, a good deal of funding for the project was obtained through an ICO, otherwise known as an initial coin offering. An ICO basically acts as a crowdfunding source for a lot of startup blockchain companies. Cardano's ICO raised exactly 108,844.5 Bitcoin, according to their audits. Now, as of making this video, that is currently worth about $554 million US. That's a lot of money, but according to Charles Hoskinson, the Bitcoin received in the ICO was divested smartly, so no one knows for sure exactly how much money the developers of Cardano have available. But if the funds were truly invested smartly, then it's safe to assume that they have kept close to or exceeded that value, even through this bear market. In a surprise AMA in August of 2018, Charles mentioned that the team at IOHK currently burns through about $1 million US a month for Cardano's development. Now, doing some simple math shows that at that rate, Cardano's development will consume about $60 million between the years of 2015 through 2020. $60 million is a small amount compared to how much was raised in the ICO, so I think it's safe to assume that Cardano has all the funding it might need to be completed, even if development ends up bleeding over into 2021. Number 2. Cardano's presale and ICO was only in Japan, which has hurt the ecosystem. First of all, yes, the presale was limited exclusively to Japan, but the ICO itself was not. In fact, many Asian countries were able to participate in the ICO. People generally tend to think that because Cardano was limited mostly to Asia during its beginnings, that it has had a negative impact on the distribution of ADA within the ecosystem. This might be true to some extent, but I'd be willing to bet that a large amount of the ADA that was bought in the presale and ICO has already been dumped and recirculated through this ecosystem. I mean, if you had bought ADA at 2/10 of a penny, you'd honestly be a little crazy not to have sold once it reached $1 or more. It's also important to realize why Cardano's ICO was mostly limited to Asia. It's because in Asian countries, regulators are generally much more friendly towards cryptocurrencies. The ICO is limited to these areas due to the fact that Cardano could have gotten into a lot of trouble had they made their ICO available in, well, many other places. The Securities and Exchange Commission here in the United States, for instance, has already started to crack down on many ICOs. The decision to limit the ICO to Asia was mostly to keep Cardano free from legal issues and guarantee the stability of the project in the future. Claim number 3. Cardano's transactions per second are too low in number to scale for worldwide adoption. Currently, Cardano's network can manage about 150 to 250 transactions per second. Now, this might not sound like a whole lot compared to some of the other projects out there, but there are 2 important things to realize here. Number 1 being that this is already about 30 times faster than Bitcoin. Number 2 is that as of making this video, Shelley has yet to be released on the mainnet. Now, Shelley will completely change the topography of the network since it will be adding in decentralization and an updated consensus algorithm named Ouroboros Hydra. I won't be explaining the technicalities behind Ouroboros Hydra as it is quite complicated and there's so much detail behind it, I could probably do an entire video over it. It is important to know, however, how Ouroboros Hydra differs from other consensus algorithms. It uses something known as parallel epochs along with multiple layers for settlement and computation to create a scalable solution. Basically, with Ouroboros Hydra in operation, the transactions per second on the Cardano network will scale with the amount of people using the network. In this way, Cardano is scalable enough to meet worldwide adoption, with transactions per second growing with the size of the network itself. So while other blockchains may boast higher transactions per second or throughput than Cardano, they do not scale in this fashion, and many of them sacrifice certain essentials in order to achieve their high transactions per second, such as decentralization and immutability. Claim number 4. proof of stake is not as secure as proof of work. Those who make this argument do have a pretty compelling reason to do so. Usually it tends to revolve around the fact that Bitcoin, using the first ever proof of work consensus algorithm, has been operational since the year 2009, and never once has that network been compromised. Proof of work is battle-tested and proven, and proof of stake isn't yet. Proof of stake is still very new to the cryptocurrency space, but just because it hasn't been battle-tested through the years as so many proof of work algorithms have, it doesn't mean that it's inherently less secure. Proof of stake is not something that is being built to compete with proof of work. Proof of stake is being built as a response by the innovators in this space to fix the biggest downfalls of proof of work, while attempting to maintain the best parts of it. Obviously, security through decentralization is the biggest upside to proof of work technology, and proof of stake aims to meet or exceed the security of proof of work algorithms. In Cardano's case, the devs are doing everything they can to guarantee the security prior to launching their consensus algorithm on the mainnet. Ouroboros is the first proof of stake consensus algorithm to be provably secure. Provably secure meaning that they have proved mathematically that the security of their algorithm is on level with that of Bitcoin's. Personally, I believe that Cardano's proof of stake will actually end up being more decentralized and secure than Bitcoin's proof of work. This is mostly due to the fact that in Cardano anyone can stake. It doesn't matter if you have a billion ADA or a single Lovelace. The only thing required of you to participate in staking is that you own any amount of the currency. Staking pools will also be far greater in number than mining pools as well, since people will be able to run their own nodes on something as cheap and energy efficient as a Rock Pi, which is a computer about the size of a credit card, for those who may not know. Now this is a sharp contrast to Bitcoin, where you have to buy an ASIC miner in order to participate, which is a specialty machine that costs thousands of dollars, which is only produced by a few companies, who in a sense control the cost of access to participate in Bitcoin mining. Cardano also introduces diminishing returns to stake pools. Basically, this means that you will earn less rewards for staking with larger pools than you will for staking with smaller pools. And this incentivizes people to move their stake between pools and encourages even further decentralization. Charles Hoskinson claimed Cardano will be 100 times more decentralized than Bitcoin with the release of Shelley, and with all of this in place, I tend to believe him. Proof of stake will be easily accessible, further decentralized, and thus more secure than proof of work. Claim number 5. Cardano has no significant partnerships. I'll start this one off by saying that I think that partnerships in the cryptocurrency space are more often used as a means of marketing and building hype than they are used for actually adding to the usefulness of a cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that they don't, but I think people tend to focus on partnerships too much when determining the value of a certain coin. With that said, Cardano has a lot of impressive partnerships. I'll start off with the one I think is most impressive. Cardano has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Ethiopia. Sure, maybe it isn't a massive multinational corporation everyone knows and uses, but this is an entire country we're talking about. It's also a developing country, and if you know anything about global economics, there's a lot of money to be made in developing areas. This is because the processes of developing a country generates massive amounts of wealth as people are put to work, infrastructure is built, and a larger consumer market opens up. Ethiopia intends to use Cardano to assist the further development of its agricultural industries, specifically their industries revolving around coffee. Ethiopia is not the only African country Cardano is involved in either, but the MOU is significant. Emergo has also recently partnered with a company named Y2X, which is a blockchain startup incubator. This is a pretty big deal for Cardano, as in Emergo's press release, it was stated that Cardano will become the protocol of choice for projects being developed and incubated by Y2X, especially those that focus on regulated STOs. This is a big deal as STOs are speculated to be more than likely as big or bigger than ICOs were in the past. If you aren't already aware, an STO is similar to an ICO. An investor is issued with a crypto coin or token representing their investment. But unlike an ICO, a security token represents an investment contract into an underlying investment asset, meaning they are essentially regulator-friendly versions of an ICO. This is a big deal for Cardano and will ultimately aid in its adoption in a way that's similar to what Ethereum saw through the use of ICOs on its protocol. Though STOs are much less likely to be filled with the sheer amount of scams and dishonesty that plagued the ICO market. Another impressive partnership Cardano has under its belt is the MedApps Plus partnership. This partnership is with a South Korean company which now offers physical prepaid cards to South Korean users. These cards will allow people to spend their ADA at over 30,000 offline merchants throughout South Korea. That's all I'll be discussing in this video, everyone. You should know I do intend to continue this video series as it's a popular one and helps spread awareness of the falsehoods and lies surrounding the project. I'll be creating a poll for the Cardano community to vote on for the next video, so if you have some FUD you'd like me to discuss and debunk, then I'll leave a link in the video description to the official Cardano forums where you can vote on what FUD I should cover next. And if you took the time out of your day to watch my content, I just want to let you know that I deeply appreciate it. As always, thank you for watching.